SVC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Good morning and welcome to the iGaming Daily, live from the exhibition floor at a busy ICE conference in Barcelona. I'm joined by one of the industry's most renowned and most sought-after streamers, Brian Christopher. Brian, how are you doing? How are you finding Barcelona so far?
Loving it. It's so beautiful here, and I think I'm on the right time zone now, so that's good too.
Takes some time to get adjusted, right? But
yeah,
you're there.
Yeah, about 9 hours time difference between here and California. So
wow, okay. And I'm going to get straight into it and talk to you about streaming and everything you do. I think our audience, they know who you are. You know, one of the most decorated streamers around, as I said at the top of the show. And it's really interesting to me that you utilize YouTube as a platform more than others. Can you just tell us a little bit about some of the benefits and why you choose to kind of be on YouTube? Prevalent on there.
That's where I started, right? And originally I just posted some videos on there for fun. Didn't really know what I was doing. And that's where I got my big break. I posted a video playing Cleopatra that just went completely viral. I looked it up yesterday. It's at a couple million views on it still. It's still going strong. Check it out if you haven't seen it, but it's pretty funny. And I had a huge jackpot on it. And so that's what really got me started on YouTube. And it wasn't until years later that I was like, I should probably add this onto Facebook. Yeah. And then Facebook, took off as well. So, but for me, like, YouTube's been really good. They're great about gaming as well. They allow you to do it, whereas some other platforms are a little more tight on that. Yeah. And so we've never had any issues with them, and they've been really great for us.
Nice. Is there anything you kind of do differently compared to other streamers to be on, to be so successful on Facebook and YouTube as opposed to, other streaming platforms?
We pretty well put a lot of the similar content across each of them, but there's different characteristics of our audience on each of them as well. So our audience actually is a little bit older on Facebook, for example, and the audience on Facebook is more apt to watching short form videos more than long form. So we tend to give them a little bit more, and of course on Facebook you have a lot more photography that you put out there. So I've been sharing a lot of photos and videos from our stay in Barcelona, whereas YouTube is strictly just gambling.
Yeah. That's really interesting, I guess. Some are about building your character, some are just about pure games. Really interesting. And I guess social medias evolve and their demographics evolve too. So, we were close to seeing it with TikTok in the US. We might still see it. Who knows? But I think it underlines kind of, not the volatility, but just, these things change, right? The audience of Facebook changes.
Yeah.
What do you do to kind of keep up with knowing the changing demographics that are on your platforms, if you know what I mean?
We just listen to our audience. Basically, that's been my goal from the beginning, is just listen to what they want. When I first started my videos, I used to swear in my videos, and they told me straight up, we don't like that, so I stopped. Just turn it off. Don't swear anymore. Like little things like that. Just listen to what they like and what they don't like. And as it's been growing, like for us, for example, like Facebook was a very young audience for us at the beginning, and then over time it got a little bit older audience. Yep. And male and female are pretty well right down the middle on both of them as well. But we just cater to whatever they're asking for, and always want to try and stay ahead of the curve. Always reinventing ourselves, trying new things to stay on top. Because when I first started this, there was only a couple channels doing this. Now there's hundreds of them, right? Yeah. And they're all trying to be Brian Christopher. And so they're copying everything I do. So I now have to reinvent myself so that we all don't look exactly the same.
Yeah. Is that it's a compliment, obviously, but is that a little bit of a nuisance as well?
I'd say it was annoying at the beginning, and then I realized, okay, yeah, it is a pretty good compliment. And when they stop trying to mimic me, then I have a problem, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't mind it now. And in fact, I actually I try and help other channels a lot. So
nice.
I did a big boot camp last year. Had about 15 different channels that came out, all at different levels. Some of them had only 5,000 subscribers. Some of them had 500,000 subscribers. And I just try to encourage them to do better and showing them what I do that works. And I don't hide any secrets. And at the very end of the day, I feel like people they're not just watching us for the slot content. They want to know us as people and our personalities and who we are.
Yeah, for sure. I guess it's interesting, right? Like you do the boot camp. That's absolutely fascinating. And I guess how do you kind of get people to take from you what you do best, but also bring out their own character, because that's important.
Yeah, that's what I tell them, is like, people want to see you. I mean, we could play the exact same game, have the exact same outcome, and have 2 completely different videos, right? So it's all in how you interact and everything else, and it takes a while to really like find yourself in videos, because a lot of people are nervous at the very beginning, and it took me probably at least a year to like really get comfortable talking, because you're literally, if you think about it, you're literally sitting in front of a slot machine in a busy casino talking to yourself, right? And at the very beginning, I was nervous. People were like staring at me like, what is that weird guy doing over there? You got a camera, you're videoing. And eventually you get over that, and you just block out the rest of it, and you just imagine who it is that you're talking to. So I just imagine I'm talking with all my fans, and they're just my friends. So I'm just like, hey guys, what's up? Let's try and get this jackpot together, and we just have a good old time then. Yeah,
that authenticity resonates in what you do, for sure. So,
yeah.
And also a testament to your character and to what you do is the partnership with BetMGM. Just talk to us about that. How proud does that make you to have that partnership?
It's pretty special, actually, to be like an ambassador for BetMGM amongst the likes of all the biggest stars out there in the world. We're literally still like breaking ground. It's only been about half a year since we started our partnership, but we're continuing to grow. We just shot a few commercials and some photography, so you're going to start seeing more of me out there in the spaces. But we're really loving. We have grand ideas for what we want to do with it, so I'm going to continue to do more live streams, but also live events. We just held a big one recently at MGM Grand Detroit. Had hundreds of fans come out to that one that BetMGM put on for us. So it's a really good way to connect with people in person as well as online.
Nice. And can you give us a little clue into any of the upcoming? A little teaser into any of the upcoming things?
Well, we're trying to work more with other companies as well. So like we recently did a thing with IGT's Play Digital, and when they just released Mystery of the Lamp, we were one of the very first streamers to be able to show our audience that. So I love being able to premiere new games and then show everybody what you can do online. So we definitely want to do more of that. Evolution as well. We work with them to promote their brand new Crazy Time that came out. I was the very first person being that was able to go onto their set and actually like put on the costume and check it all out right before it went live to show everybody what it's all about. And it's incredible how these things go together. You watch like these live game shows, essentially is what they are, on BetMGM, and you just wonder how this actually happens. And to be able to see that and show my audience how it all comes together is really special too. So we definitely want to keep growing those audiences, those relationships rather, and also see where else we can take this, because I know there's a lot more directions we can go in with our partnership.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know you're predominantly a slots player, but you mentioned Crazy Time, and I think we've seen, it's been quite exciting for me to see, Live Dealer and slots have always kind of been in their own lane, but the growth of game shows and this evolution of game shows that we've seen feels like a little bit of a bridge between the two worlds. I don't know if you agree with that, and I don't know how you feel about the growth of kind of game shows and where they can go in the future.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by it. Like, just growing up, I love like The Price is Right and all that kind of stuff, and I feel like I'm literally a contestant on that show now. Yeah. And it also builds community, because you can actually chat with other people in the chat while you're playing.
Yep.
And honestly, the hosts are so much fun. Like, every host has their own personality. Like, we're talking about personalities before. Like, they've all got different things that are unique to them, and I love watching them and getting to know them more. So it's real. I think it's going to go very far. I think you're going to see a lot more of that in the future as well.
Yeah, you mentioned something really crucial. That hosting role is important, because
it's huge.
If that person's a little bit flat, it just kind of brings the whole energy down.
And it's like they get to be a host of a huge game show. Like, if anyone ever wants to be the host of a huge one on a network, well, now you can actually do it over here and be seen by a massive audience too.
Yeah, would you... purely hypothetically, I think you know what's coming. Would you ever take that? The Brian Christopher's game show?
Legit, I asked him if I could do it. I was like, "Can I please be a host?" But there's like a whole thing you have to go through the gaming commission to be approved.
Oh, really?
And all. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I don't really have time to do that. I was hoping I could just show up and do an hour of it, but no, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
And I guess you kind of touch on it there, but when you partner with BetMGM, you're obviously very raw, very authentic. You're very you fairly unedited. You are an authentic version of yourself. When you partner with BetMGM, and not just BetMGM, but other big brands, and generally speaking for streamers, how important is it that you kind of retain the creative freedom and you don't let them put limitations on?
Right.
I'm not saying that they ever have done that, but generally speaking, when you're partnering with big brands and there's a lot of maybe bureaucracy, how important is it that you retain the creative freedom and are still able to be yourself?
For me, it's the most important thing possible. So, I mean, in all of our agreements, it basically says, we would like you to talk about these things, but Brian may or may not say it. You know, I have full creative control. They do not approve any of my videos. I just do them and then put them up. I'll just go live. You know, I'll just showcase everything. And, you know, if I ended up doing a scripted thing, it just wouldn't be authentic anymore. Yeah. And that's why, like, for BetMGM or when I'm on a casino floor, I use 100% of my own money to gamble with. Because to me, that is authentic as well. Like, I can't get excited if I'm losing someone else's money. It has to be real. My wins are my wins, my losses, and my losses are all mine too.
Yeah. And that you can tell when other players, when other streamers aren't, you know, they aren't being authentic,
100%.
Right?
Yeah, there's other streamers out there that definitely you can just, I mean, the ones with like millions in their accounts and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't personally, as a viewer, I don't find that exciting at all because they're not getting excited. Yeah. So I don't share in that. It's, you know, there's a wow factor for a few minutes, but then I get bored of it. Like, I want to see the adventure from like start to finish of Brian starting with $1,000 or $10,000, and let's see where he gets to at the end. You know, that to me is more exciting than someone just pressing a button and not really caring. They're just there to get a paycheck kind of idea.
I guess that's why your fans are, you know, they feel kind of close to you because they've been on that journey with you and they've perhaps even gone on it by themselves by playing the games that you play. I guess it's that authenticity.
Yeah, it's that connection, and that's what we always, you know, focus on is building our community, and that's what we're great at.
Nice. And I wanted to ask you about Rudy's as well, a really cool one. Talk to me about Rudy's.
Yeah, so the Rudy's is our fan club. Essentially, you know, these are like paying members. We have over 5,000 of them right now. And that was my want to have a really tight community. There are other slot communities out there, but they never really felt that close. And so I wanted to start something where people had to pay a membership because that meant that they wanted to be there. Yep. And I literally just charge $5 a month. You know, I'm not doing it to make money. It's just to make sure that they want to be there.
Yeah.
And then so, you know, they get private live streams. We do an annual event called Rudy's Weekend in Vegas where we take over the Plaza Casino downtown. And even last night, actually, at the ice party, I went live there for my fan club just so they could like be a part of the action. And it's a really great chance, again, for us to build community. But like I was chatting back and forth with them like one-on-one in the chat. Whereas, you know, normally when I do a live stream, I'll have 10,000 people and I can't read every comment. I can't respond to everyone. But in our fan club, there's only hundreds of them that show up every live stream. So I'm able to really like connect on a better level. And the name Rudy's came from the fact that I say the word rude a lot when you're playing slots. And so when it came to them naming their own group, they came up with the Rudy's. So the Rudy's, yeah.
I like that. Creative. They're creative like you. It's contagious. And those Rudy's, those nights at the Plaza, those weekends at the Plaza.
Yeah.
Without, you know, what happens at the Plaza stays at the Plaza, of course. But yeah, what do they look like? They sound like a lot of fun.
They are so much fun. And what's really great is like they are every age group, every category. They're from all over the world. Like they fly in from everywhere. So I mean, we do events in Australia and across the States and Canada. And like our event in Canada, I had a fan fly out from Bermuda to join that event, you know, and we had fans from Singapore come out to the States and also to Australia. And it's really, really great. And within our community, they've built their own communities. There's even like a subset called the Rudy Corns. These are fans that love unicorns. And so they've nicknamed themselves the Rudy Corns. And they have this whole like subset. And so a lot of our fans will meet at our events and then find their own community in that city that they're in, and then they will go off and gamble on the weekends together, and it's really amazing. It's so amazing, like the closeness that we built with people. Yeah,
that is so cool. I think it's it's like anything really, like following a smaller football team, it's that community that you get it's so beautiful. I love that, and you all share in something, and you win together, you lose together. That's I guess that's all part of it, and the Rudy Corns, we're going to look out for them. They're going to be a big group in the future.
They're awesome people.
SBC Leaders connects the gambling industry's top-tier operators and associations to share the best ideas, collaborate on solving the biggest issues, and push innovation throughout the betting and gaming industry. If you're an operator and want to join the discussion, visit sbcleaders.com for more information.
I did want to ask you about producing your own slot content as well. Obviously, you've got the audience there for it because, you know, the Rudy Corns, the Rudies, they're ready for it. So, how did you find that process? Was that fun?
Very fun. So, I was approached about 3 years ago to do my own slot machine. It was an iteration of Pop and Pay's, the original slot machine, and they were doing a Pop and Pay's More version. So they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, which is really special. And so we Brian-fied it. We added all my sayings to it, and then I added a lot of things that I love about slot machines, certain little features that we added into it. And now we have another slot machine coming out in just a few months called Brian Christopher's World Cruise. We host lots of cruises all over the world, about a dozen of them or so every year. And so we thought this would be a really great theme for us to do. So that'll be coming out in about April or so. And then also we've been able to bring our games online. So we're hoping to do a lot more of that in the future too.
Awesome. And just a general one on slots while we're kind of on it. I wanted to ask you what you think the big mechanics will be this year. Like, you know, looking ahead, what are going to be the trends that kind of set the year at?
Honestly, like for slot machines in general, like honestly, they're just there's not a lot of new stuff happening. Yeah. It's just like what other like 8 Buffalo games can we come up with? You know what I mean? Every time you're in the casino, there's a new one that you've never heard of before. So there are some companies out there that are reinventing the wheel, like Gaming Arts. You know, with our brand new game that's coming out. You know, Blueberry's been doing really great work with their Devil's Lock, and then they've had a few more games come out since then. That's completely changing the way that we're used to playing. So I'm hoping for some more new stuff like that. And you know, even you know, electronic table games are kind of like taking over more spaces on the floor. So I think we'll see a little more of that too. Okay,
that's really interesting. And it's challenging though, right, for operators. I kind of, or suppliers, I should say, really. I kind of empathize with them that, you know, like you say about the Buffalo games.
Yeah.
As much as, you know, you want to innovate and you want to see new things in innovation, players love for the familiar, right? They love familiarity.
Absolutely.
So, do you think that's kind of causing a little bit of stagnation in terms of innovating?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I fall prey to it too, right? If I see a new Buffalo machine landing in the casino, I have to play. I got to try it out, you know. But that's part of the role that I play is showing, you know, my millions of people watching what are the new games that are out and teaching them how to play so that they get that familiarity of a new game that they've never even seen before. So that way when they go to the casino next, they'll be able to see that game and be like, oh, I should play that one. Brian showed me how to play it. The bonus is really cool. I have to get that bonus. You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, essentially it comes down to the math. And when a manufacturer figures out that, the math on this game is perfect, let's just keep replicating it. And sometimes they'll make it a little harder, you know, make it a little more volatile here or there, but they know it works.
Yeah. I guess, you know, it kind of taps into more that, you know, streamers are a really good tool to, you know, showing players that, moving players away from what they know, I guess, and getting them onto new games. I guess streamers are a big tool for that.
And also, I'll just say that, like, you know, social casinos, they've figured this out now too, and so there's a lot more omni-channel things happening. So, like, for example, like SciPlay and, you know, Light and Wonder, they're almost like matching up when a new game comes out. They'll bring it out in the land base, but also on their apps, because people then they become familiar on the app. They can now go play it in the casino or vice versa as well. It's very smart.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that. A beautiful segue right there. But I wanted to ask you about social and sweepstake casinos. I am English. The concept of social and sweepstake casinos that have kind of really been thrust into the news in recent years.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild to me. It's kind of bonkers. And I'm regularly talking to Jess Wellman and our US team, just trying to get a grasp of what they are, but they're, just what do you
Honestly,
think? You
like,
work with them, right?
Social casinos have been around for a long time.
Yeah,
they really have. And I won't mention names, but I've worked with a lot of partners over the years. And I remember one time I did a LAN event with a bunch of players that play a certain social casino, and they brought up their VIP players, and these people willingly will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to purchase gold coins, where they win or lose gold coins, right? There's no way of winning any money or anything else. But but people just do it because they like it. Not being in a land-based casino is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes how noisy they are, or in many cases how smoky they are, and they just want to be on their own in their own home, where they can be in control of everything and have a good time and play the games they like. So, it's not necessarily about, winning money or prizes. It's just getting a chance to play these certain kinds of games. And so some social casinos have figured out a way to offer, a chance to redeem your sweepstakes coins for cash prizes, for example, right? And so that's exciting to another layer of players, or even the same kind of players too. So sweepstakes has expanded so much over the past few years. I've been working with sweepstakes, I think, for 7 years already. And I love it. At the very beginning, I was so confused. I'm like, what is this? I don't get it. As most people are. I think today most people understand it now. And I was the very first streamer to bring that out to people, to show them. And then now a lot of streamers are working with different social casinos to show the world that. But I think it's fascinating. I love it.
Because you have a dedicated channel to your social and sweepstakes stuff. Do you have a different audience for it, or is it a similar audience to?
It's bcsweeps.com. So that one is it's a similar audience, but what we learned was not every casino player likes to watch online gambling, or do they like to watch social casino play, or do they like to watch table games? It's very different. So on my Brian Christopher Slots channel, if I start playing video poker or roulette, my ratings will drop.
Yeah.
People will not watch as much because they're there for slots. So I quickly figured out that I need to separate us out a little bit because it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have BC Sweeps, which is sweepstakes based, and then we have BC Slots 2, which is RMG, real money gaming.
And there's kind of there is a little bit of regulatory back and forth with the sweeps at the moment. I think the AJ have kind of said a few things. Where do you see this going, and what do you think should happen in terms of sweeps? Do you think the framework should tighten, or where do you see this going?
I mean, it's working right now, and it's expanding like crazy. So I don't see it going away. I think people just need to figure out how to work with them as opposed to against them. It's obviously very popular. People understand how it works. It's just to me, it's no different than casinos that have bingo-based slot machines, right? Or in some states that don't allow casinos with slot machines, they have, HHR, the horse racing games. And I'm like, what's the difference? It's the exact same thing. It's a slot in a different version. So, they just figured out a way to make it to the masses, just like HHR did, or bingo-based slot machines.
Yeah. And that expansion that you talk about is right now a state by state, so expanding across the states. I've heard it touted before that, maybe we could see social or sweepstake casinos on these shores in Europe and in different parts of the world. Mm-hmm. Do you think they could be successful in Europe or in other regions?
I don't see why not. I think if they brought it out here, it would be massive.
Yeah.
It's fun. And honestly, from my history, the RTP, the return to player percentage, is higher online than it is in land-based casinos, and they're able to do that. So for me, the player, I prefer that.
Nice. And I wanted to ask you as well about the SportsGrid partnership. Mm-hmm. Another really cool partnership for yourself.
Yeah, we're super excited. So we're still working on how that relationship's going to happen. We've already had some of our videos on SportsGrid. We're uploading videos every week or so on there just to test the audience, see how they're reacting to it and everything else. But we do have a TV show in works that we'll be bringing out hopefully in the springtime or summertime as well.
Awesome. So you get to... You're going to be that presenter that you
I will be that
nice.
Actual host now.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So definitely looking forward to that. I can't say too much about what it's going to be like yet because we're still finalizing all the details. Yeah. But it's going to be massive. I cannot wait.
Focused on casino games, I'm assuming.
Casino, yeah. Casinos and slots. Okay. Specific, yeah.
Not giving too much away about
the
new show.
SportsGrid is amazing, and they're bringing out a new channel, new platform for casinos, and so that's not even out yet. So once that actually lands and our new product comes out, it'll be big. I
had to probe because I'm so excited to see what that looks like. It's going to be so much fun, I'm sure.
Me too.
Brilliant. And I did also, I kind of planned to ask you about the TikTok ban, and then TikTok was unbanned. All of a sudden, you've got a good following on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just what have you been going through the last? It's not your sole.
Gosh. No,
but it is still
it's
important.
Pretty small for us. We have a few 100,000 followers on there. TikTok's a weird one. I mean, shout out to the government who got TikTok shut down, and shout out to the government who brought TikTok back. The same people. so stupid. But, TikTok's a weird one because their policies don't allow gambling on their platform.
Yep.
So, at the beginning, we used to do live streams. They were really great for us. And then they tightened it up and said, no, you can no longer gamble on here. So now we have to be innovative about what we post on there, because if we do a video of us just gambling or something, it'll be taken down. So, it's never going to be our main focus, but it is a way still to attract a new audience and hopefully bring them over to our YouTube or Facebook pages.
Yeah, I guess it really underlines that your content isn't just slots.
Exactly.
It's your whole character, your whole persona, you're bringing that to life, and you get to do that on TikTok because, without the gambling, it's just you, so it still works.
Exactly, yeah.
Brilliant. And Brian, I guess lastly, tell the people where they can find you, and thank you ever so much for your time as well.
Of course, yeah. The best place is bcslots.com. That's where we have our video content links and everything. And also we have fliptheswitch.com. That's our big content portal where people can learn all about how to gamble, where to gamble, the ins and outs, and we basically demystify everything there is to know about playing slots or gambling in general and sports betting.
Amazing. Thank you, Brian. And be sure to check out all the latest news on iGamingExpert.com as well.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily Podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.